welcome back to the current affairs series that we have started. Now, for this week, the last week, the first week of January, this current affairs relates to the first week of January. As we have divided the whole lecture into two parts, the first one is prelims oriented and the second one is prelims comes mains oriented. You can see the topics here. These are the most important topics. There are 1,000 things happening in the world, but these topics are the ones which should be dealt with from the exam point of view. So we'll be going to deal with all this. Okay, let's start the lecture. The first one is Global Housing Technology Challenge. The Global Housing Technology Challenge is a technology initiative that has been started by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs so that the global technologies that have emerged for housing projects, fine, the latest technological innovations that are taking place in the field of housing, so that these technologies can be brought to India, and then they can be replicated and implemented in India, so that the cost of construction, the carbon footprint can be reduced. Now, why this is in news? Because Prime Minister of India laid the foundation of the lighthouse projects under the Global Housing Technology Challenge. Okay. Prime Minister laid down the foundation stone of lighthouse projects. The lighthouse projects are demonstration projects. Okay? These projects are those houses which are being built under this challenge. This is a challenge for all the companies, startups, academia, research institutions, all these institutions which are involved in this kind of housing technology research and innovation. They have been brought to a challenge, and then the technologies that were feasible, economically scalable, that were selected, and now these technologies have been awarded this project. It is a housing project. This housing project will make demonstration houses. Fine. These housing projects will be based on the recent innovative technologies that these companies have brought. So what is the main purpose? The main purpose is to bring down the excellent building practices that are both disaster resilient and sustainable. Fine. Which are sustainable and disaster resilient. Fine. It has been started under Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. This is very important from the prelims point of view. Our examination point of view, this becomes very important. Which ministry is dealing with which kind of scheme? Take care. And where are these 6 lighthouse projects being made? They are in Indore. Indore is in Madhya Pradesh, Rajkot, Gujarat, fine, Chennai, Ranchi, Agartala, and Lucknow. These 6 places, there will be 1,000 homes each. 1,000 homes will be made at each of these 6 places. They will be demonstration homes, as well as they will be sold also. Fine. So these technologies are the recent innovations, like prefabricated homes. Recently, Larsen and Turbo, L&T is a company, they made a 3D house. Okay? They made a 3D modeled house, pura ek ghar. It was constructed from the base to top on a single scale using 3D modeling techniques. Okay? So this project is also being taken under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban. Okay? Again, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban is a part of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So what is Pradhan Mantri Urban Awas Yojana Urban? Basically, PMAY is a national housing mission. Okay? It's a mission, national housing mission, that aims to provide 2 crore homes by 2022. It was launched in 2015. Okay? Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana is a scheme to provide homes to people basically who are under below poverty line. Basically two kind of homes, LIG and MIG, low income group and medium income group. ठीक है, low income group and medium income group homes are being provided under this scheme. ठीक है, तो what are the basic components of this whole global housing technology challenge? There are three components. The first one is Grand Expo and Conference. This was held in early 2020. A conference was held, okay, and a Grand Expo was held so that the companies can demonstrate their technology over there. And a challenge, the challenge was held amongst the companies, even research institutions and academia also took place, participated in it. Okay. The second component is identifying and mainstreaming the proven technology, okay, for the construction of lighthouse project. The first one will be a conference. The second one will be identification of the best technologies that are suited to Indian conditions. Okay. And then providing these technologies an opportunity to demonstrate their projects as lighthouse projects. Okay. The third component is identifying the potential for, okay, ASHA, Affordable Sustainable Housing Accelerator. What is this? ASHA is a technology submission under National Housing Mission. National Housing Mission means Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. ठीक है, और Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana was launched in PMAY. This is important from exam point of view. PMAY was launched in 2015, and in 7 years, 2022, it has the target of providing 2 crore homes. Fine, 2 crore homes. These 2 crore homes will be provided for LIG and MIG group of people. LIG means lower income group and MIG means middle income group people. Okay, and for that interest subvention, fine. These housing projects that will be given to people will be having the interest subsidies. Fine. So ASHA is a technology submission under this. This is a larger mission, umbrella mission. इसके अंदर कौन सा है? Technology submission. Technology submission means identification and incubation of such startups or such technologies that can be used for that can be used for better construction techniques. ठीक है, तो उनको हम क्या करेंगे? Accelerator is basically a incubation center for a startup. ठीक है, so these are the three components of global housing technology challenge. Fine. And what are the important things that we should remember is, the first one is where are these projects being implemented, and the second one is what are the components of the scheme, the third one is what is PMAY, and the fourth one is what is the funding pattern. Okay, so we'll be seeing what is the funding pattern in the next slide. That is, the center will give an additional technology grant for 2.5 lakh rupees for each house. ठीक है, तो all these homes that are being constructed in 6 places, ठीक है, वहां पे जो भी homes construct हो रहे हैं per dwelling unit, ठीक है, per house, per dwelling unit या per house, central government will give a grant of rupees 2.5 lakh, whereas state and center will provide assistance of rupees 1.5 lakh. The funding is very important because many times the funding has been asked in prelims की, like in multiple choice questions, कि प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना से रिलेटेड बहुत बार क्वेश्चन पूछा है, 2 बार क्वेश्चन पूछा है, तो उसके रिलेटेड फंडिंग भी आपको पढ़नी होगी. Similarly, the funding support under Greenhouse Technology Mission is being provided by both state and center. ठीक है, both state and center, and both state and center will provide 1.5 lakh per housing unit. In addition to that, the center will provide the technology grant of rupees 2.5 lakh. Fine. And these 6 winners who have been selected through this challenge, who are building this 1000 housing project, take a 1000 houses under this project, they will be given incubation facilities under the 4 IITs. The 4 IITs are going to be the technology incubators for these companies who are going to build these demonstration projects or lighthouse projects. ठीक है, तो lighthouse का मतलब you don't have to confuse with the original lighthouse that is used to guide ships at the sea. These lighthouse are to become the guiding houses of what? The future housing technology companies. ठीक है, they will be also presented by CPWD, Central Public Works Department, as a model house, ठीक है, and will be also sold to people. Fine. So how is it different from other houses? These houses are based on the latest technological innovations in housing and construction. Fine. So okay, let's summarize this. Summarize in the sense ki what we have to remember from exam point of view. The first one is, what is GHTC? Fine. What is the ministry? Under which ministry? Fine. Ministry is MOHUA, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. The third, how to remember all these things for prelims, basically. This is very important from prelims point of view because of the inherent factual content and the importance that it carries with it. Fine. So this becomes an important topic for prelims. So first of all, GHTC, what is it? Under which ministry? For funding. I'm outlining the process as to how you have to deal with the issues, okay? How you have to deal with the current affairs issues. Now it is under which, it is a scheme under which scheme? PMAY Urban, PMAY Urban, okay? So now PMAY Urban also becomes important. So what you have to remember for PMAY Urban, okay? What is the target of PMAY Urban? And recently government said that the government is going to achieve the targets ahead of time. Fine. PMAY के अंदर targets क्या हैं? 2 crore houses या dwelling units by 2022. Fine. 2 crore houses by 2022. ठीक है? This is how you have to assemble, या you have to organize your current affairs for a better retention. ठीक है? और सबसे importantly, people complain that they are not able to retain what they study. So one thing is very important, that is revision or repetition. If you want to get good at something, just repeat it. Repetition makes you perfect at something. Okay? So revision is very important. And when you are going to revise, you don't have to see all this whole content that has been written here. You have to make your own notes like this, fine, in a very precise and concise fashion. Okay? So that this will be very helpful, because our memory is what? We have our memory is designed to remember things that are in a flow diagram form or a pictorial form. Okay? Okay, the second news at hand is FSSAI slashes the trans fat level. Okay? So what is trans fat? Okay? So we have three kind of fats or fatty acids, as we call them. The first is saturated, the second is unsaturated, and the third one is trans fat. Saturated fatty acids वो fatty acids होते हैं जिसमें कार्बन का प्रेजेंस है, लेकिन कार्बन के सारे बॉन्ड्स हाइड्रोजन से अटैच्ड हैं. ठीक है? You don't have to get into the nitty-gritty of the chemistry that is involved here. ठीक है? But for the basic understanding कि how are these things related, this is kind of unsaturated. Okay? Actually, it is a very long chain. I'm showing here for just a very minor demonstration to make you understand कि this is saturated, this is unsaturated. ठीक है? Like three kind of fats. First is saturated fatty acids, the second one is unsaturated fatty acids, and the third one is trans fatty acids. ठीक है? तो saturated fatty acids में all the bonds are occupied for carbon has 4 bonds. ठीक है? यहाँ पे unsaturated में एक double bond है यहाँ पे. This is a part of very long chain. ठीक है? But trans fatty acids are those fatty acids जहाँ पे hydrogen has been partially added. ठीक है? So this was a double bond which has been now removed by adding these hydrogens. These hydrogens make it, but still at least one double bond is present. ठीक है? तो ये हो गया trans fatty acid. ठीक है? Trans fatty acids are naturally भी होते हैं और naturally occurring भी होते हैं, और most of the times they are prepared artificially. ठीक है? तो they are not found in nature in abundance as saturated and unsaturated fatty acids are, but these are also found in nature. ठीक है. FSSAI has now food safety and food FSSAI has slashed the trans fat level from current 5%. अभी क्या रेगुलेशन था कि जितने भी एडिबल ऑयल्स होंगे फैट और जितना भी बेसिकली दीज फैटी एसिड्स आर प्रेजेंट इन ऑयल्स, ठीक है, लाइक एडिबल ऑयल्स और जो भी हम ऑयल्स कंज्यूम करते हैं अपने फूड में, ठीक है, it has been slashed from 5% to 3% by 2021. ठीक है. WHO guidelines state that they should be reduced to 1% by 2023 and they don't have any health benefits. ठीक है. तो it should be tried to completely eliminate them from our food chain. ठीक है, या food supply. But for the time being it has been slashed from 5% to 3% by 2021. मतलब जितना भी ऑयल कंपनीज हैं, जो ऑयल प्रोड्यूसिंग कंपनीज या जो एडिबल ऑयल प्रोड्यूसिंग कंपनीज बेसिकली हैं, they will have to comply with the norm that they will have to reduce the amount of trans fat that was up till now 5% allowed. 2021 तक they have to bring it down to 3% and by 2022 to 2%. ठीक है. और 2023 तक एलिमिनेशन का, कंप्लीट एलिमिनेशन का टारगेट है एज प्रिस्क्राइब्ड बाय वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. फाइन. It was brought, these regulations were brought under FSSAI Act, ठीक है, and the regulations were brought by amending the regulations that were earlier brought in 2011. ठीक है. As I told, WHO prescribes that the whole trans fatty acids that are a part of our food supply should be eliminated by 2023 and they don't have any kind of health benefits. ठीक है. They actually cause heart diseases and hypertension. ठीक है. Hypertension. What are trans fats? Trans fats are a result of partial hydrogenation, as I told you, कि if it is a long chain of unsaturated fatty acid and if you are trying to add hydrogen atoms in at least one of the double bond by removing one of the double bonds, then it becomes a trans fatty acid. ठीक है. Why are these companies making trans fat? ठीक है. तो why are they doing the hydrogenation itself? ठीक है. It increases the shelf life. ठीक है. The shelf life of oil gets increased and moreover the melting point of the edible oil gets increased. As we know, vanaspati ka ghee that we buy from the market, it has high content of trans fat. ठीक है. So what it does is it increases low density lipoprotein. It is bad cholesterol. ठीक है. So it increases bad cholesterol and at the same time reduces the good cholesterol of our body. ठीक है, जिसकी वजह से coronary and heart diseases होती हैं. Partial hydrogenation, obviously it increases the shelf life, as I told, and trans fat have no health benefits and it should be eliminated from our food supply as WHO prescribes. Okay. The third is Supreme Court asks the government to repeal Prevention of Animal Cruelty Rules 2017. ठीक है. Supreme Court has recently, in a petition filed by Buffalo Association of India, the Meat Traders Association, they have asked the government to repeal the Prevention to Animal Cruelty Rules 2017. Now these are rules. ठीक है. These rules must have been brought under a certain act, that is Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. ठीक है. The amended rules provided. Now, why has Supreme Court asked the government to repeal them? The Supreme Court has asked the government to repeal them on the grounds that these rules allowed the police officer or the magistrate for seizure of livestock. ठीक है. Seizure of livestock from people who they believed, है ना, even if there was a suspicion, the police officer or the magistrate had a suspicion कि the animal were not being treated rightly. ठीक है. The animal were being subjected to the cruelty. So they can confiscate the animal and send them to infirmaries or gaushalas. ठीक है. What is an infirmary? Infirmary. an infirmary is a place where treatment of people or cattle takes place, ठीक है. तो even in a case of suspicion, ठीक है, the magistrate or the police officer was allowed to confiscate under these rules, confiscate what, the cattle, and send them to infirmaries for treatment or for to gaushalas or infirmaries, ठीक है. But according to the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960, ठीक है, section 35 of the act says that, section 35 says that the magistrate, है ना, the magistrate has the power of confiscation only when he has substantial evidence, ठीक है. What the rules are कि if a policeman gets a complaint about the ill treatment of animals, ठीक है, ये इन एनिमल्स में वाइल्ड लाइफ नहीं आती है. वाइल्ड लाइफ इज प्रोटेक्टेड बाय वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 1972, ठीक है. इस कैटेगरी में वो एनिमल्स आते हैं लाइक काउज, कैटल, ठीक है, डॉग्स, कैट्स, जो बेसिकली ह्यूमन पोजीशन में है या ह्यूमन की हमारी सोसाइटी का एक पार्ट बन गए हैं. स्ट्रे डॉग्स आर आल्सो कवर्ड अंडर दिस, ठीक है, दिस एक्ट. तो it allowed authorities to seize cattle on a mere suspicion, ठीक है, on the grounds that the police is having suspicion कि people are not treating the animal rightly, they can seize the cattle and send it to infirmary. But the act says otherwise. The act says that the police will have to produce the cattle to a magistrate who, after the assessment of the cattle, can only send it to an infirmary, ठीक है. But in rules के अंडर में क्या था? The police was directly authorized to send the cattle to an infirmary, and the Supreme Court has said that you are taking away the livelihood of people, ठीक है. क्यों? क्योंकि many people depend on their livestock for their livelihood, ठीक है. Okay, the Prevention to Animal Cruelty Act also establishes an Animal Welfare Board. This Animal Welfare Board advises central government on various issues that concern animal. Now the next issue at hand is BPRD releases data on police organizations, ठीक है. What is BPRD? Bureau of Police Research and Development, ठीक है. It is under Ministry of Home Affairs. BPRD is under Ministry of Home Affairs, ठीक है. It is not a statutory body, it is an executive body, ठीक है. We have three kind of bodies, ठीक है. Like first one is constitutional body, second one is statutory body, the third one is executive body, ठीक है. Constitutional bodies are those that have been mentioned in the constitution itself, ठीक है, like election commission, ठीक है, Supreme Court. All these are constitutional bodies. Why? Because they have expressed mention in the constitution. The second one is statutory bodies. Statutory bodies are those bodies which have been formed by a statute under the law, ठीक है, यानी जिनको पार्लियामेंट्री लॉ के थ्रू या स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर ने किसी लॉ के थ्रू बनाया है, वो हो गई हैं, वो हो जाएंगे क्या, स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडीज. द थर्ड वन इज एग्जीक्यूटिव बॉडीज. Executive bodies are neither mentioned in the constitution nor are they made through a law. मतलब they are not made by parliament, they are not mentioned in the constitution, they are made through a resolution of the executive, ठीक है, resolution of executive. Executive means cabinet, ठीक है, executive means cabinet, ठीक है. तो BPRD is an executive body. Fine, it was made in 1970. It was formed in 1970 through a resolution, through an executive resolution dated 1966. The resolution was made in 1966, but it came into being in 1970. ठीक है. Prior to that, BPRD से पहले क्या था? There was a Police Research and Advisory Council. This Police Research and Advisory Council was substituted with BPRD. ठीक है. In a latest development, in 2017, government brought NCRB, National Crime Records Bureau, and BPRD under one umbrella. That is, the Director General of BPRD will be the Director General of NCRB as well. ठीक है. So this I mentioned a point because I'm trying to cover all the recent happenings so that you can have a comprehensive understanding of what the issue is. ठीक है. Okay, now BPRD basically works. BPRD is a research institution, ठीक है, research institution that works on the research of how policing works, या how the policing reforms can be done, ठीक है. NCRB on the other hand is National Crime Records Bureau. It maintains the record of crime. NCRB के अंडर में क्या काम करता है? NCRB क्या, it has some publications, ठीक है, like crime report, crime in India, है ना, सुसाइड इन इंडिया, ये सारे रिपोर्ट्स एनसीआरबी पब्लिश करता है. एंड एनसीआरबी के अंदर में क्या क्या है? CCTNS, क्रिमिनल एंड क्राइम ट्रैकिंग नेटवर्क सिस्टम. CC is operated by NCRB. Fine, but BPRD is a different thing. BPRD is an organization that works for research on पुलिस itself, ठीक है, और ये NCRB क्राइम पे है और BPRD पुलिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस पे है. So what does that report say? According to the latest data released, India's actual police to population ratio, ठीक है, police to population ratio is expressed as per policeman over how many policemen are present on 1 lakh population, ठीक है, 1 lakh population, ठीक है. This is important क्योंकि हर फैक्ट में ये denominator is different thing. How many policemen are present in 1 over a lakh of population, ठीक है. Like maternal mortality rate is on 1000 births, ठीक है, child mortality rate is on 1000 births, but पुलिस पर्सनल का प्रेजेंस हम किस पे जज करते हैं? on 1 lakh population, ठीक है. इंडिया का एक्चुअल पुलिस टू पॉपुलेशन रेशियो इज 195.39 and actual police personnel employed are 20,91,488 as against the sanction strength of 26 lakhs, ठीक है. तो 26 lakhs का सैंक्शन स्ट्रेंथ है. टू अटेन द UN recommended, what the UN recommends is that there should be at least 222 policemen over per lakh people, ठीक है. बट इंडिया में कितना है? ये 195.39. that represents a huge deficit, ठीक है. It is one of the prime reasons कि policing reforms are important, ठीक है. पर लाख पॉपुलेशन, मोर देन 5.31 लाख. स्टेट्स में कितनी वैकेंसीज है? 5.31 लाख वैकेंसी स्टेट्स में है. और CAPF इज अ सेंट्रल आर्म्ड पुलिस फोर्स. CAPF इज अ पुलिस फोर्स ऑफ सेंटर, ठीक है. और ये वाले स्टेट पुलिसेस, ठीक है, और CAPF सेंटर का है. मोर ओवर द जेंडर डिस्पैरिटी, द होल police force consists of only 10.3%, यानी 1/10 of the police force is only women, as compared to near half population of our country is women. Near half, around 45-47% of population is women. But the huge gender disparity, as we can see here in policing, reflects the kind of crime we see today, ठीक है. The whole police force and only 2.93% in सेंट्रल आर्म पुलिस फोर्सेस, ठीक है. सेंट्रल आर्म पुलिस फोर्सेस में बहुत सारी पुलिस फोर्सेस हैं, लाइक पैरामिलिट्री हो गई, है ना, पैरामिलिट्री, ओके, CRPF, सेंट्रल रिजर्व पुलिस फोर्स, CISF, सेंट्रल रिजर्व पुलिस फोर्स, CISF, ऑल दीज आर पार्ट ऑफ सेंट्रल आर्म्ड पुलिस फोर्सेस, ठीक है. तो सेंटर अपनी पुलिस फोर्स मेंटेन करती है, स्टेट्स अपने पुलिस फोर्सेस मेंटेन करते हैं, ठीक है. स्टेट्स में 5.31 लाख की वैकेंसी है जो सैंक्शन स्ट्रेंथ है, और CAPF में 1.27 लाख पोस्ट्स वेकेंट हैं. फाइन. जेंडर डिस्पैरिटी का बहुत ज्यादा, पूरी पुलिस फोर्स का ओनली 1/10 इज कंपोज्ड ऑफ विमेन, ठीक है. And there has been increase of 16% in women's strength over the last year. This is a very good sign कि there has been increase in the 16%, यानी जो previous year का strength था in of women in police forces, it has now increased by 16%, ठीक है. तो there are a certain, अब यहाँ से important क्या हो जाता है? Police reforms are important, ठीक है. Police reforms. There are certain committees that have made recommendations on police reforms. Do read them. It not only helps you in exam, it helps you develop the understanding as to how system is working and what are the possible reforms that we should do in our policing system. Okay? It is always good to read things that are not directly covered in the syllabus, बिकॉज इट गिव्स यू पर्सपेक्टिव, ठीक है. ओके, द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक एट हैंड इज इंडिया अ मेंबर ऑफ यूएनएससी. व्हाट इज यूनाइटेड नेशंस सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल, ठीक है. यूएनएससी इज यूनाइटेड नेशंस सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल. यूनाइटेड नेशन सिक्योरिटी काउंसिल का हेडक्वार्टर कहाँ है? न्यूयॉर्क. फाइन. United Nations Security Council is one of the principal members of six principal members of United Nations organization, ठीक है. तो what are the other organizations? The first is General Assembly, ठीक है, United Nations General Assembly. The Security Council, the one we are dealing with. Economic and Social Council, the International Court of Justice, the Secretariat, and the Trusteeship Council. These are the six prime or the main organs of United Nations organization, ठीक है. So the Security Council is the one we are dealing with. Fine. So why this is now important? Because India has become the member of United Nations Security Council, but not the permanent member. ठीक है. Although India has been demanding reforms in the United Nations organization and the structure of the governance of the Security Council also, but the current membership we are talking about is not the permanent membership. It is the non-permanent or temporary membership. ठीक है. तो we'll be dealing with the fact कि what is temporary and permanent membership in a while. But India was selected for the 8th time. ठीक है. India was selected for the 8th time. India is one country that has been selected more than many other countries. Like India is on the third number in the case of being elected to United Nations Security Council. Fine. As a non-permanent member. Obviously, India cannot get a permanent membership in the current regime. ठीक है. Non-permanent, the whole membership of United Nations Security Council is 15 members. ठीक है. 15 members में कैसे डिविजन होता है? P5 plus 10. ठीक है. P5 plus 10 means P5 means the countries that were the most powerful countries during the four countries that were most powerful countries during after the Second World War and China. ठीक है. China was later added later. Plus 10 these are P5 countries have permanent membership. ठीक है. Okay. This is the whole structure of United Nations Security Council. ठीक है. There are 5 permanent members. The first is China, France, Russia, United Kingdom and United States. These countries have a veto power. ठीक है. They can veto any resolution that comes under the Security Council discussion. ठीक है. Once the resolution has been vetoed, it cannot be taken forward. ठीक है. Russia has vetoed highest number of times. Russia and China have vetoed highest number of times. ठीक है. तो ये 5 members हो गए. The 10 members are divided on a geographical scale like this. How? 3 seats are allotted to African group of countries. 2 seats are allotted to Asia Pacific group. India has been selected from this Asia Pacific group. ठीक है. Asia Pacific group. 1 seat is allotted to Eastern European group. ठीक, जो Eastern European countries हैं. ठीक है. This region is also very underdeveloped. ठीक है. 2 seats are allotted for Latin American and Caribbean, means basically South American and Caribbean island countries. ठीक है. And 2 seats are allotted for Western European other groups. WEGO. WEOG. ठीक है. अब वेस्टर्न यूरोपियन कंट्रीज में एक तो इन कंट्रीज को छोड़ के मीन्स फ्रांस और यूनाइटेड किंगडम को छोड़ के वेस्टर्न यूरोपियन कंट्रीज जो वेस्टर्न यूरोप में है एंड ऑल्सो इजराइल. ठीक है. इजराइल एंड टर्की. फाइन. They also form a part of Western European and other groups countries. ठीक है. Now there is one thing, there is a catch. यहाँ पे मिडिल ईस्टर्न कंट्रीज जो हैं उनको अरब स्विंग सीट कहा जाता है. Why? Because they are given seat in once in African group and the next year they are given a seat in Asia Pacific group. ठीक है. क्योंकि मिडिल ईस्ट is a part that is connected with both Africa and Asia. ठीक है. इसलिए इनको मिडिल अरब स्विंग सीट कहा जाता है. They are given these seats on an alternate basis. Fine. तो India has been selected through Asia Pacific group. Fine. India has been selected 8 times and Pakistan has been selected 7 times. Okay. Okay. There are 10 permanent members, there are 10 non-permanent members and 5 permanent members along with India. Okay, election takes place every year. Okay. There are 10 non-permanent members. Okay. Or every second year election takes place. Fine. Every second year election takes place for 5 members. हर 2 साल में 5 members के लिए election होता है. Along with India, Norway, Kenya, Mexico and Ireland have been elected for the non-permanent members of United Nations Security Council. ठीक है? Great. Now, emission norms for TPPs mean thermal power plants. Now, ministry, why is this in news? Ministry of Power has asked the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change to extend the deadline of implementation of flue gas desulfurization. MOEFCC ने 2015 में, ठीक है, 2015 में गाइडलाइंस इशू की थी रिगार्डिंग द emission norms for thermal power plants. ठीक है, MOEFCC is Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. तो यहाँ पे मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर का लोकस स्टैंडर्ड क्या है? मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर के अंडर में पावर प्लांट्स आते हैं, लेकिन पावर प्लांट्स का जो एमिशन गवर्न होता है वो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ MOEFCC के रूल्स के अकॉर्डिंग होता है. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर हैज आस्क्ड द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ MOEFCC टू रिवाइज द डेडलाइन. डेडलाइन क्या है? नाउ व्हाट इज दिस फ्लू गैस desulfurization? फ्लू गैस desulfurization मींस the gases that are emitted from power plants, thermal power plants, है ना, thermal power plants में कोल बर्न होता है, कोल से emissions बहुत सारे होते हैं, that उसमें NOx, SOx, sulfur oxide and nitrous oxide, mercury, fine, lead, these are the components that form, these are the main components that form the flue gases. ठीक है. Now Ministry of Power has asked for रिवाइजिंग द डेडलाइन. डेडलाइन कब तक की है? 2022 की. ठीक है. डेडलाइन, ये डेडलाइन क्या चीज के लिए है? टू इम्प्लीमेंट द फ्लू गैस desulfurization, दैट इज टू इम्प्लीमेंट, टू यूज द पावर प्लांट्स, द थर्मल पावर प्लांट्स आर बाउंड बाय दिस रेगुलेशन टू इम्प्लीमेंट व्हाट? desulfurization टेक्नोलॉजी. ठीक है. बट मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर in the wake of coronavirus situation and all this have said that, and also to boost the Atmanirbhar Bharat project, has said that the MOEFCC should revise these guidelines, because if the power plants are going to implement this flue gas desulfurization, तो क्या होगा? बहुत सारे power plants एक साथ इस टेक्नोलॉजी को परचेज करने के लिए जाएंगे. that will artificially raise the price of the technology. ठीक है. And that will in the end amount to the increased cost of production. And already thermal power plant is getting a very stiff competition with what? Solar power plants. क्यों? Solar power plants का tariff is falling very steeply. Solar power plants का tariff 2 rupees, 1 rupee से लेके 2 rupees तक आ गया है. ठीक है. वहाँ पे production cost of thermal power plant is more than 3 rupees. तो tariff will all definitely be higher than, it is about 7 to 8 rupees per unit. ठीक है, for thermal power plant. But for solar power plants या renewable power plants, the cost of production is about, the tariff cost is about 1 to 2 rupees. ठीक है. तो already thermal power plants are facing a severe stiff competition from the renewable या solar power plants. So in this, considering all these things, to not further increase the cost of production for thermal power plants, Ministry of Power has asked MOEFCC to set the deadline for flue gas desulfurization back. ठीक है, यानी 2022 की डेडलाइन को फर्दर पुश करके 2025 के राउंड करने की बात कह रही है. कौन? मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर. ठीक है. Now 2015 MOEFCC has released a notification setting standard air pollution. ठीक है. अब अंडर व्हाट लॉ? ठीक है, इन्वायरमेंट में बहुत कम लॉज हैं, बट ऑल दीज लॉज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, बिकॉज क्वेश्चन प्रीलिम्स में एक बार ये भी आ चुका है कि दिस रेगुलेशन हैज बीन इशूड अंडर विच एक्ट. ठीक है, लाइक फॉरेस्ट एक्ट, प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ एनवायरमेंट एक्ट, वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट, ठीक है, एयर पॉल्यूशन एक्ट. ठीक है. तो दीज गाइडलाइंस वर इशूड अंडर एनवायरमेंटल प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट. ठीक है, एनवायरमेंटल प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 1986. फाइन. एंड ऑल्सो एयर कंट्रोल ऑफ पॉल्यूशन एक्ट 1982 आई गेस, ठीक है। तो इन दोनों एक्ट्स के अंदर ये मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरमेंट फॉरेस्ट एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज ने ये गाइडलाइंस इशू की थी। दीज नॉर्म्स रिक्वायर्ड फ्लू गैस डीसल्फराइजेशन। तो अब जो एग्जिस्टिंग पावर प्लांट्स हैं उनको रेट्रोफिट करना होगा अपना इक्विपमेंट, सो दैट रेट्रोफिट मीन्स टू अपने इक्विपमेंट जो है उनको उसमें टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट्स करके उनको फिट दोबारा नई जो नॉर्म्स हैं उनके अकॉर्डिंग बनाना होगा, ठीक है। नाउ व्हाट वर द नॉर्म्स, ठीक है, व्हाट वर द नॉर्म्स, फाइन। नॉर्म्स ये थे कि जो पावर प्लांट्स 2003 के बाद लगे हैं, ठीक है, 2003 से 2015 तक लगे हैं, ठीक है, इनको अपना एमिशन स्टैंडर्ड नाइट्रस ऑक्साइड का NOx का एमिशन स्टैंडर्ड करना था 300 ग्राम पर मीटर क्यूब, ठीक है। 2015 से 20 आगे के जो प्लांट्स हैं, 2015 के बाद जो भी प्लांट्स लग रहे हैं उनको अपना एमिशन 100 के अराउंड करना था, ठीक है। लेकिन इशू क्या है, मोस्ट ऑफ द प्लांट्स जो हैं वो इस फेज में लगे हैं या 2003 से पहले लगे हैं, ठीक है। इससे पहले जो प्लांट्स लगे हैं उनका स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ एमिशन क्या है, 600 ग्राम पर मीटर क्यूब, ठीक है। तो मोस्ट ऑफ द प्लांट्स जो लगे हैं, एक्चुअली इफ वी गो थ्रू द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर डेटा, तो 2015 के बाद जो प्लांट्स लगे हैं उनका टोटल कैपेसिटी 10 गीगावाट्स है, ठीक है। बाकी जो टोटल इंस्टॉल्ड कैपेसिटी है वो इन प्लांट्स के थ्रू है, एंड इनका पहले ही एमिशन स्टैंडर्ड बहुत हाई है, दे हैव अ हाई परमिसिबल एमिशन वैल्यू, ठीक है। बट 2015 और 2015 के बाद जो भी प्लांट्स लगे हैं उनको उनका 100 यानी उनका बहुत जो एमिशन स्टैंडर्ड है दैट हैज ऑलरेडी बीन केप्ट वेरी लो। नाउ दीज पावर प्लांट्स हैव एन ओल्डर टेक्नोलॉजी, ठीक है। तो अगर इनको 600 को 100 में कन्वर्ट करने या 300 को 100 में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए द कॉस्ट विल बी वेरी सब्सटेंशियल, ठीक है। तो उस कॉस्ट को व्हाट द गवर्नमेंट वांट्स टू डीफ्रे, मतलब दे वांट टू डिले द कॉस्ट या स्प्रेड ओवर टाइम, ठीक है, सो दैट अभी द इकोनॉमी इज ऑलरेडी फेसिंग व्हाट, द इकोनॉमी इज ऑलरेडी फेसिंग द राथ ऑफ द कोविड, जिसकी वजह से कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन अगर टैरिफ कॉस्ट और अगर हाई हो जाएंगी तो इट विल नॉट बी अ गुड थिंग फॉर द इकोनॉमी। नाउ व्हेन वी आर डीलिंग विद द एमिशन स्टैंडर्ड्स, तो हमें ये भी पता होना चाहिए नेशनल एम्बिएंट एयर क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्ड्स क्या हैं। दे आर सेट बाय सेंट्रल पॉल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड, ठीक है, दे आर सेट बाय CPCB, ठीक है। सेंट्रल पॉल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड सेट करता है ये नॉर्म्स इन सारी गैसेस का एमिशन नॉर्म्स, ठीक है। तो दो चीजें हैं NAQS एंड एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स, ठीक है। फ्रॉम एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू what is important is we have to remember as to which gases are in NAAQS and which gases are in AQI, which gases are overlapping, ठीक है। यहाँ पे 11 components हैं NAAQS में, you have to remember these, ठीक है, yes you have to remember this, and these were notified by CPCB in year 2009। एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स में जो गैसेज हैं वो भी आपको याद रखनी है, और यू डोंट हैव टू कंफ्यूज, क्योंकि पेपर में ये आ जाता है कि NAAQS में कौन कौन सी गैसेज हैं और AQI में कौन कौन सी गैसेज हैं, फाइन। तो AQI दिस इज आल्सो सेट बाय CPCB, सेंट्रल पॉल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड, फाइन। तो ग्राउंड लेवल ओजोन, particulate matter PM2.5 and PM10. PM2.5 is very dangerous, more dangerous as compared to PM10. PM10 means particulate matter and 10 represents the size of the particulate matter, ठीक है। तो अगर जितना छोटा particulate matter होगा उतना ही dangerous, क्योंकि it will be having high propensity to get inside our organs, ठीक है, या get inside our lungs and it becomes a part of our blood circulatory system। तो ये 6 गैसेस जो हैं इनका प्रेजेंस नेशनल एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स डिटरमाइन करता है, एंड दिस इज द चार्ट दैट एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स 0 to 50, इफ द AQI इज बिटवीन 0 to 50 इट इज गुड, एंड दिस इज चार्ट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर, ठीक है। तो फ्रॉम प्रीलिम्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू दो चीजें इंपॉर्टेंट हैं, एक तो NAQI या AQI एंड NAAQS एम्बिएंट एयर क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्ड्स, और इनको सेट कौन करता है? CPCB, अंडर विच एक्ट? एयर कंट्रोल ऑफ पॉल्यूशन एक्ट, ठीक है। नाउ जॉइंट कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव प्लान ऑफ एक्शन. व्हाट इज जॉइंट कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव प्लान ऑफ एक्शन? इट वाज बेसिकली अ ट्रीटी, ठीक है, ट्रीटी बिटवीन P5+1, ओके, एंड ईरान, ठीक है। इट वाज नेगोशिएटेड बाय द बराक ओबामा regime in USA, ठीक है। इट वाज नेगोशिएटेड इन 2015. तो जॉइंट कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव प्लान ऑफ एक्शन के तहत US गवर्नमेंट will reduce the sanctions on Iran if Iran complies with certain restrictions, ठीक है। ये लिमिट्स सेट की गई इस ट्रीटी के अंदर, क्योंकि US was very adamant कि ईरान is enriching its uranium to produce what? Atom bombs, ठीक है। तो बट these limits क्यों important है? We'll be dealing with them. Now what are P5+1 countries? P5 are 5 permanent members of what? Security Council, and one is Germany, ठीक है। P5+1 यानी P5, the 5 permanent members, that is UK, US, China, Russia, UK, USA, China, Russia, France, and this one is Germany. तो P5+1 एंड ईरान के बीच में ये ट्रीटी हुई थी 2015 में. इट वाज नेगोशिएटेड अंडर बराक ओबामा regime, ठीक है. नाउ IAEA हैज कंफर्म्ड व्हाट व्हाई दिस इज इन न्यूज, ठीक है. इन 2018, ठीक है, डोनाल्ड ट्रंप said that he will be pulling out of the treaty, ठीक है, due to which Iran said that now the treaty is no longer in place because US has withdrawn itself from the treaty. However, the European countries, the countries other than USA, are saying that the treaty still stands, ठीक है, because merely one party took itself out of the treaty does not mean that the treaty has come to an end. But Iran sees it other way. Iran says that because the sanctions were primarily provoked by USA, ठीक है, and US के trade sanctions बहुत सारे हैं and US के sanctions सबसे ज़्यादा effective हैं, इसलिए if US has pulled itself out of treaty unilaterally, so this treaty no more stands. But now IAEA is International Atomic Energy Agency, ठीक है, it has confirmed that Iran plans to step up the uranium enrichment to 20%, ठीक है. Last year in January 2020, Iran reduced the limit on enrichment of the uranium, ठीक है. Now Iran was trying to buy out some time, कि January 2020 से अभी तक Iran was trying to buy out some time so that the US might reconsider its decision. But now IAEA has confirmed, IAEA has inspectors who inspect the facilities in Iran, ठीक है, the nuclear facilities in Iran. They have confirmed that the 20% enrichment, ठीक है. अब ये 20% का enrichment का ही important क्यों है, ठीक है, क्योंकि naturally uranium exists in nature, ठीक है. What is enrichment? Enrichment is purification. Fine. Enrichment is purification या increasing the concentration, ठीक है. तो uranium 235 in nature exists as 0.7% pure, ठीक है. अब 0.7% से 20% लाने में जो एफर्ट और एनर्जी खर्च होती है वो है 90% ऑफ एनर्जी खर्च होती है, जो कि 20% से 90% जाने में, ठीक है. आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड दैट. मतलब जो नेचुरल प्योरिटी है यूरेनियम की, यूरेनियम 235 का जो नेचुरल प्योरिटी है ना, नेचुरल प्योरिटी से 20% जाने में ही 90% एफर्ट खर्च हो जाएगा. मतलब इफ यू सेट दिस स्केल, दिस इज 20%, दिस इज 90%. 90% pure uranium is suitable for what? 90% pure uranium is suitable for making a bomb, ठीक है, an atomic bomb. ठीक है, and for that they will have to need at least 1035 kgs. For making an atomic bomb, if you get 1035 kgs of uranium which is 90% pure, you are having an atomic bomb. But most of the effort, ठीक है, यानी most of the effort goes in making it pure from 0.7% to 20%. ठीक है, अगर आपके पास 20% यूरेनियम है प्योर, तो 20% से 90% जाना इज नॉट अ बिग डील. ठीक है, इट विल टेक अ वेरी स्मॉल एफर्ट. ओनली 10% ऑफ एफर्ट, पूरे 0.7% से 90% जाने का जो 10% एफर्ट है खाली वो 20% से 90% जाने में यूज होता है. बाकी मोस्ट ऑफ द एफर्ट इज कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड हेयर. इसीलिए IAEA, ठीक है, IAEA मतलब इंटरनेशनल एटॉमिक एनर्जी एजेंसी, it has declared that Iran is right now having solid plans to enrich its uranium by 20%. ठीक है, okay. Now what are the limits on Iran's nuclear program? This JCPOA, this treaty sets some limit on Iran's nuclear program. That is, uranium enrichment cannot be done more than 3.6%. 3.6% uranium enriched is allowed. 3.6%, 7% enrichment allowed है. क्यों? क्योंकि this is the amount of enrichment that is required for power plants. ठीक है, fine. Stockpiling cannot be done for more than 300 kg. ठीक है, क्यों? क्योंकि 1035 kg is required for making a atomic bomb. ठीक है, can't acquire heavy water more than 130 tons D2O. D2O is heavy water. That means 130 टन से ज्यादा heavy water acquire नहीं कर सकते हैं. क्यों? heavy water में प्लूटोनियम होता है, प्लूटोनियम that is also used to make an atomic bomb. ठीक है, तो ये हैवी वाटर कौन सा है? जो कि यूरेनियम के फिजन के बाद, मतलब न्यूक्लियर पावर प्लांट में न्यूक्लियर रिएक्शन के बाद जो हैवी वाटर निकलता है वो, दैट कंटेन्स प्लूटोनियम. ठीक है, इज एन आइसोटोप. The next point was Iran has to seize Fordo facility. Fordo is a facility in Iran. It is used for nuclear enrichment and nuclear refinement of uranium-235. And at the same time, Iran will allow inspection by IAEA inspectors. ठीक है, मतलब IAEA के इंस्पेक्टर्स जो होंगे वो ईरान की किसी भी फैसिलिटी को, बेसिकली सारी फैसिलिटीज को अपनी मॉनिटरिंग में रखेंगे टू चेक एज ईरान इज नॉट एनरिचिंग इट्स यूरेनियम बियॉन्ड द 3.67% का जो अलाउड लिमिट है, उसके बियॉन्ड एनरिचमेंट नहीं कर रहा है यूरेनियम. ठीक है, तो दीज वर द पार्ट्स ऑफ द ट्रीटी. ठीक है, in return US and other countries will remove their sanctions. They will allow Iran to sell its petrol in, like its crude oil in the international market. और बाकी जो कंट्रीज पे, जिन कंट्रीज पे यूएस ने सैंक्शन लगा रखा था, अभी लगा रखा है, इंडिया पे भी है, कि इफ एनी कंट्री बाइज एनीथिंग फ्रॉम ईरान, ठीक है, तो दे विल बी अंडर द यूएस सैंक्शन, यूएस ट्रेड सैंक्शंस. ठीक है, तो ये सारे सैंक्शंस को हटाने की बात थी JCPOA में. लेकिन 2018 में व्हाट हैपेंड वाज, 2018 में डोनाल्ड ट्रंप पुल्ड हिमसेल्फ US आउट ऑफ हिज ट्रीटी. डोनाल्ड ट्रंप हैज बीन पुलिंग US आउट ऑफ मोस्ट ऑफ द ट्रीटीज. ठीक है, नो वन इज श्योर व्हाट इज ही गोइंग टू डू नाउ that a new regime now that a new regime is going to be established in USA. Iran was very much hopeful that Joe Biden's the regime might reconsider its choices, but till now even Biden's office, Biden has not made it clear as to what he is going to do with this whole JCPOA agreement. So Iran has started enriching its uranium unilaterally. ठीक है, now enrichment grades of uranium, as I told, 3 से 5% is low enriched uranium. This is suitable for power plants. ठीक है, highly enriched uranium is greater than 20%. ठीक है, and weapons grade uranium is 90%. If a 90% enrichment has been achieved, that means you can now make an atomic bomb. Now JCPOA sets limit on enrichment, as we talked कि JCPOA set करता है enrichment पे कितने limits होनी चाहिए. 3.67% by मतलब they cannot enrich their uranium by more than 3.67%, which in any case should not exceed 20%. ठीक है. Now what is IAEA? ठीक है. We have been dealing with the fact कि IAEA inspectors are going to inspect the facilities. Now what is IAEA? Whenever there is an international organization you have to deal with, I have told you in the previous lectures also कि हमें organizations के साथ कैसे deal करना है, क्योंकि organizations have become a favorite part of UPSC, and UPSC has been, and other state exams also have been constantly asking about international organizations. ठीक है. So what is IAEA? First of all, the standard method that we deploy in reading in studying international organizations, IAEA. तो when it was formed, सबसे पहले, ठीक है, इसके प्रायर कोई एजेंसी थी जो इसी काम को करती थी, ठीक है. It was formed in 1957, ठीक है, as Atoms for Peace को रिप्लेस करके, ठीक है, 1957. The second thing is headquartered in Vienna. Vienna is capital of Austria. The third thing is what does it do, ठीक है. तो there are various nuclear non-proliferation treaties, ठीक है, NPT, CTBT, है ना. तो ये सारी treaties इसको IAEA को entrust करती हैं, empower करती हैं to be the inspectorate, ठीक है. These treaties empower IAEA to become the inspectorate of what? These treaties मतलब these treaties empower IAEA to inspect any facility, ठीक है. मतलब these NPT and CTBT, these treaties empower IAEA to inspect any facility throughout the world as to check if a uranium enrichment beyond the standard prescribed level is going on or not, ठीक है. Fine, okay. And is India a member? India is a founding member. India is a founding member, ठीक है. India signed nuclear 1-2-3 deal. What? Nuclear 1-2-3 deal, ठीक है, with USA. This deal stipulates that IAEA will be visiting only those facilities which India allows, ठीक है. मतलब IAEA will not be visiting all the facilities, nuclear facilities of India. अब India कौन सी facilities को allow करता है? Those facilities which are getting fuel from USA under this nuclear 1-2-3 deal, ठीक है. यानी like Kudnukuru plant, if the plant is getting the fuel from USA under this nuclear 1-2-3 deal, then that plant will be allowed inspection by IAEA, ठीक है. IAEA moreover cannot inspect military facilities, ठीक है. It only inspects civil facilities. Fine. And another important thing is it reports to UNGA, United Nations General Assembly, but it is not a part of United Nations organization, ठीक है. It is not a part of United Nations organization, but it does report to United Nations General Assembly, ठीक है. So whenever you are dealing with all these international organizations, so these are the things you have to look for. First one is when it was made. Second one is headquarter. What treaties are considered under this? ठीक है. Is India a part of it? Is the institution a part of United Nations organization? ठीक है. These are the important things that you have to deal with while dealing with the international organizations. Okay.